friends at Tivoli Brewing Company and the Department of Communication Arts and Sciences at MSU Denver, this is Unfiltered. And here are your hosts, Jay Schrader and Dr. Samuel J.
You can introduce yourself first since you got to go. Who are we talking to?
This is Michael Roberts. I do a lot of our outside sales, distribution, and whatnot.
Okay.
And every now and then jump behind the bar so I can still talk to the people.
Well, I know you got to leave early, so
I do.
after these two introduce themselves, I got to come back to you and ask the sales questions.
Cool.
Okay. All right. Then you can go do whatever you got to do. Next up.
I'm Josh Robbins. I'm the owner, brewmaster here at New Terrain.
Founder. Okay.
The smilingest guy
Accountant.
I've ever seen.
Happy in a dog eating shit.
I
That
know,
guy.
dude. He's happy to be here.
He is. He's.
Anytime somebody says owner, founder, you're like,
Yeah.
happy.
Did you start this by yourself?
What's that?
Did you start this by yourself?
So my wife and I own it. So,
There
yeah.
you go. All right. Was that her walking around?
No, she's
That's
not. She's
okay.
not here today.
She's not here today. Okay. She's the.
Yeah.
She helped start
We
it.
have, I have a
She's-
4-year-old and a 4-month-old. So
Oh, okay. So your hands are full.
Yeah.
Jeez, you're in the weeds, dude. Josh, nice to meet you. And last but not least.
Yeah, I'm Dave Johnson. I'm a brewer here. Started just over a year ago.
Okay. All right. Well, welcome, Dave.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for being on the show. I guess because Mike's got to go work, let's jump back into. We walk in here. It's a massive facility. It's
Gigantic.
a beautiful facility,
Yeah.
by the way. This is the coolest brewery I've ever been to.
Clearly, you guys stumbled into this, and it was needed a ton of work, and
Yeah.
it was a little bit of here, a little bit of there, and all of a sudden it's ready to go for New Terrain. No, this is an amazing building, but
Awesome.
great views. What did you want to talk about? You want to talk
I want
about
to talk about
sales?
real quick, because he's
talk
got to
about
go.
sales.
He's
That's
got to
cool.
go.
It's
right?
fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
What? Okay, so obviously we can get all the beer we need over the bar here,
Right.
but I assume New Terrain is expanding the footprint. What is going on in that direction? Before we even hear the origin story, but I don't want to miss it before you got to head out.
We'll edit this and put it in the right order.
Yeah,
later.
exactly.
Right. Well, since day one, we've been kind of getting our kegs out into distribution. We've been delivering to bars and restaurants. But we recently just added cans, which is pretty exciting. So we've been doing 4 packs of 16-ounce cans. We've got 3 that are year-round, and then a couple that we do a new variation of every month.
Okay. What are the year-round ones? What are we?
So we've got our Golden Haze.
Okay.
That is our, kind of our flagship, number 1 seller and all that. Golden Haze is a juicy, hazy New England-style IPA. Comes in at 6.8%. It's driven by Mosaic hops. And it's just it's delicious. And I seem to not be the only one who thinks so.
Yeah,
So it's great.
People dig it.
And then we've got our Sun Trip. Sun Trip is a Belgian wit. We did take home a silver medal at GABF for that one. Entering it again. Hopefully we'll win again.
Alrighty.
And the third is our newest to the can assortment, which is Atlantis. And Atlantis is also a New England style beer, but it's a pale ale rather than IPA. And that one comes in at just 5.2, so it's real easy drinking. It's my favorite. I just drink it too much, probably a lot.
There's a reason
That's
we're
my
having a
favorite.
sober September here.
Yeah.
So it's all right.
That's
Yeah.
my favorite kind of beer. So I guess what are you seeing in terms of sales numbers with the styles of beer that people are drinking at the moment? I mean, obviously the hazy people are, the New England.
Right.
We're getting a lot of that, but the fact that the Atlantis is now on rotation, are we moving back to that in your opinion? I mean, is that the trend perhaps?
So they all do well. What's really cool, outside of the can lineup, we've got a ton of other beers. We've got light beers, fruity beers, sour beers, dark, just everything, and they all seem to do pretty well. There's been a few low-hanging fruit that we all loved, and unfortunately, took out of the lineup because I guess other people didn't realize how awesome they were.
Yeah.
But for the most part, yeah, we've landed on a great lineup, and you just kind of can't go wrong with our beer.
Yeah.
Sure, the hazies sell better, but doesn't mean everything else isn't fantastic. It's just a trend right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Possibly.
Well,
We'll see if it goes away.
The beer's amazing. I've had it multiple times before. What are you when you go into liquor stores and you're trying to get kegs on tap? what is the New Terrain brand that you are kind of packaging and pitching? Like, what's that sound like to you?
So I mean, for the most part, we try to get it out that we're for those who wander. That's kind of our motto here. We're reaching our beers out to those who like to go on bike rides every day and hiking and just get out and explore and take our beer with them, or go out and explore and finish up and have a beer as their reward. So we try to kind of, I don't want to say cater to that crowd, but more so that crowd is catered to us, and we're all about it.
Yeah.
We're all adventurers as well. So our logo is actually a sea turtle, which there's a ton of here in Denver, Colorado.
Makes perfect sense in downtown Golden. Yeah.
Yes.
But that kind of that animal, it's the spirit animal of New Terrain, because sea turtles travel the whole globe. They'll just hop in those ocean currents and get around.
Be gone.
Yeah.
Awesome. So how has canning helped with satisfying that wanderlust that your ideal customer is
wandering
designed
around
for? Yeah.
Right. So before they would have to either go out and explore and then find a bar or restaurant to go and get their beer. They could also come through here at the brewery and fill up a crowler, which is like a big 32-ounce can that essentially acts like a growler. But now they can get our cans in multiple places, and they can take those cans out fishing or whatever it is they want to do.
And I assume you guys are seeing a good response to canning.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's been a phenomenal response. And we're looking to expand the footprint and add some more to the lineup as well. So just a lot going on in the can world.
Well, go sell that shit.
Yeah.
Go do it.
I'm trying. I'm
Are
doing
you
it.
kicking them out?
No. I just found the perfect pivot spot, which is the wandering,
The turtle.
the turtle, but also the ideology behind this, which brings us back to Josh. When you started this, because of where we are, was that kind of clientele, but also really that kind of ideal at the center of this thing when you got it up and running? No.
Yes. Well, partially. So, I mean, right, my background, scientist, whatever, and then Kaylee and I owned part of another brewery, sold our part to start this one, which thus the New Terrain, branching off into New Terrain, and then, then the logo and everything was took a while to think about what fits with our vision and what we're doing, and eventually the sea turtle sort of thing came up perfectly. Like you said, that was what we thought about, of just wandering everywhere, and goes with New Terrain. But it was as far as, but we didn't really focus on a specific clientele, I guess, or any of that, but we definitely wanted to have a wide variety of styles available. Plus, I enjoy that instead of being a niche in one area or whatever.
Yeah.
Let's
You're not
brew across the
you're not a
spectrum.
sour brewer. You're not an IPA brewer. You guys are doing everything here.
Brewery
Yep.
for everyone.
Yeah.
Yep.
Excellent. And now, was there a turtle like in a cage as a mascot that kind of was the vision or the inspiration for this? I mean, did the toad from a previous endeavor morph into a turtle? How did this work out? I'm seeing an amphibious.
That's true.
pattern.
We do need a turtle here, but it would probably then be a land turtle. And but no, I don't know.
I'm gonna get
we
this
don't
guy
have
a
any
turtle.
animals.
I'm gonna get
Let's
a
do
turtle.
it.
We do need one.
Love
Okay.
turtles.
or at least a dog
and-
named
right.
Turtle.
And so
Another thing cool about Michael, which he never mentioned, is he's been to 1,200 breweries now. Or something like that.
yeah, just around 1,200. And so that's actually kind of how I got the job here. So
And it's true. I was like, well, if you've been to that many breweries, you must be good. Yeah.
So before the place opened, I was going around looking for a job, and I saw just a blank website that said New Terrain Brewing, coming soon for those who wander. And at that point in time, I had finished up with a trip where I lived in a minivan for 365 days and made it to 789 breweries in that year. So I basically just walked over here and I was like, hey, I hear you guys like to wander, hire me. And I told them that I've been to, almost 1,000 breweries at that point. Our grand opening here is when I counted this brewery, and it was 900 at that point. So
Now you have a wedding ring on. Was that before that happened, or
No,
after?
they had to give him a job because he was living in a van in the parking lot during construction.
I got married down by the river. No, the marriage definitely happened after that trip. It would have not happened on it.
Yeah, trust us. This thing is.
Yeah, this is really like marriage counseling for men only when we do this podcast. So.
Well, we're just hoping we make it big enough before they divorce us.
Yeah, no shit.
There you go.
If they divorce us before it goes big, they don't get any of the money out of it.
Exactly,
So.
that is true. That is true.
I've been told.
Yes, yes, you have been. Back to Josh, real quick. Okay,
Sorry about that siding.
No, that's awesome.
This is
I feel
why
like
this is unfiltered.
unfiltered.
So I mean, what's your history in the industry then? I mean, I know about it. We read it about it. For the listeners who don't know New Terrain, what's the story?
Yeah, Texas Instruments.
I mean, yeah, my short 30-second background is I got my PhD at Colorado School of Mines in chemical engineering. Started a company straight out of that, but it was more semiconductor related. Raised a few things, flipped that into another company, needed to raise a lot of money. It crashed and burned, and that's when I got into the brewing industry.
Okay.
Sort of just fairly similar story to actually a lot of engineers, it's like,
Oh yeah, there's plenty.
I didn't burn out, just crashed and burned, and then,
Somebody was there to douse the
right.
flames.
Yeah, and then got a few partners and started the brewery, and that's sort of the history how I got into brewing. I mean, I was home brewing, when I started here at Mines in '91.
Okay.
Back when you got some dry malt extract and a block of hops, and that's what they call it, hops, right? And then you added that. So, we initially when we were brewing, it was to
You were brewing to
get drunk. Yeah. Back in the early college days.
I
But
love
yeah,
that
it's,
story. It doesn't matter how many
Right.
times we hear it
Nope.
or how many people tell it, man.
Yeah.
Why did you get into this? Just because I didn't want to have to buy beer.
It's always the smart brewers too.
Yeah,
seems.
oh, yeah.
It's always the
Oh, yeah.
scientists. They go, I
Right.
gotta do this shit in my closet. Right?
Yeah, that's the short version of how I wandered around, and yeah.
So basically,
into this.
I can take my PhD and open up a brewery pretty soon.
Seems
right?
unlikely.
My PhD in cultural studies. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
an easy transition,
Yeah,
right? Like
yeah.
that makes total
Do
sense.
it.
PhD equals beer,
Yeah, exactly.
one way or another.
So okay,
But
so
yeah, but the first businesses at least taught me about the business side
Right.
a lot.
Right.
I mean, right out of grad school when I started that, I couldn't afford, $300 to get an accountant, so I wrote, I read 400 pages of tax code. How do you, do that and whatever? And so a lot of that really helped in the business side, and I had the technical background to do the brewing side too, and so all those sort of melded together to come together with this.
So that previous brewery situation, is that a touchy situation, touchy subject, or
No.
okay. So what was it? What was it? What was
So that was Mountain Toad Brewing.
Okay.
Down
All
there.
right, all
So
right.
yeah.
That was
Good.
it still is, I think, in a house, right? Off of. Am I
Thank
thinking
you.
of-
So it's downtown Golden. I mean, it's in a little industrial building down there.
Oh, maybe I'm thinking of the
so-
wrong place.
No, that's Golden City Brewery and your thing. In the
Okay,
house.
okay.
Okay, so you were there. You guys were kind of doing that. At what point, I guess, you knew that you wanted to kind of take this off on your own and just see you and the wife were talking about it, and then obviously this happened.
Yeah.
Was it a?
Well, I think when you have partners and that sort of thing, there are risk rewards. If you look at this building, quite a
Low risk.
risk.
Yeah, low risk proposition.
And I mean, this is in a way out in the middle of nowhere, and with lots of, so I think there was lots of things going on in that partnership and where we were and moving forward, and different visions and
Yeah,
whatever.
for sure. So
Yeah.
what year did this thing get up and running then?
So 2016 is when
Okay.
this opened, October 2016. So
Yeah, we're coming up on your 3-year anniversary.
So Wonderfest, which is next weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know when this comes out, but
I think it will have passed.
Yeah, no, I don't
right,
think so.
but
Something like this next week, yeah?
so is our anniversary sort of
Okay.
party, which is 3 days of bands and
Okay.
that sort of thing.
All
So
right.
yep.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
So everybody,
like
when you're listening to this, if you listen to it next Wednesday, then so it's what, Saturday?
Saturday. It's the
Saturday?
19th,
Yeah,
20th, 21st,
I don't know the
something like that.
dates. I
Yeah.
gotta
Don't worry about looking it up. We're
Yeah,
not
look it up.
We're not ever that accurate to begin with. I'll be at
Yeah.
Boy Scout camp.
and by then it'll be next year. But yeah, no. So yeah, just coming up right on 3 years, and
Okay.
it's been going well.
How long did you scope out locations before you came to this one? Because this is beautiful, by the way. I mean, this place is awesome. Perfect spot.
Quite a while. So
Really?
we
Okay.
knew we wanted something fairly big, and so looking around Golden, had to be in
Yeah.
Golden. And yeah, we stumbled upon this place. Actually, this piece of land sort of no one wanted. It was on a hill. It's shaped like Texas. It's it's perfect for a brewery, not perfect for this industrial park if you want to maximize your space for an industrial
Gotcha.
area. But our views are outstanding, and
Yeah.
if you're building parts where no one has windows, then
Yeah, nobody
what's the
gives
point
a
of the
shit
extra
what the
cost
view
of
is.
That's a really good
building
point.
on some of this? But it worked out great, and yeah.
So
And
was any of this excavated when you guys, started building, or I mean, the retaining wall? Did you put in? Did they put in? Or was it?
No, so Kaylee and I don't own the building, but we were in from the start, so it was
Okay.
built for us. So we're
Okay.
actually paying rent. But
Nice.
but yeah, we were in on the design and everything. Obviously, if you come here, it was built for a brewery.
Yeah.
So
Right.
yeah,
Perfect.
but no, it was definitely a big slope down, and
Okay.
all that had to be
Okay.
part of there. So.
But you guys couldn't have asked for a better spot either. I mean, you're right around the corner from the bike park, and there's trails in every direction. I mean, from a wandering perspective, right? This is everything you need right here. Whether it was intentional or not, it certainly lends itself to the theme and the motto and the mantra of
Yeah,
new
well,
terrain.
and that's definitely true when we were looking at other locations or this one, especially when we're looking at this one, like, oh, we can connect to the trails that are right here that go to North Table. There's a dog park and a mountain bike park right behind us. So that was pretty interesting. Actually, we got a few negative from some people who were at the dog park. Like, before you guys came, there was like no one there, and it was awesome. Now it's
The dog
like,
park was,
now
like,
everyone's
huge,
using
yeah.
the dog park, and that was.
So you
But no,
ruined the fucking
it's
dog park.
But they were all sober at the time.
Yeah,
which is-
yeah.
but no, it's actually been great having everything right here
Yeah.
for a lot of people.
So, over the last 3 years, have you seen kind of more of an exodus of those folks who knew what you were doing with another brewery come this way, or is it? I mean, well, I guess the clientele, is it more the kind of industrial part? What have you seen just kind of watching people come in here and drink the beer at the place, not so much off the shelf?
Yeah, so we're sort of an interesting location. We're a bit of a destination
Okay.
for a lot of people, especially say on like our music nights.
Uh-huh.
As we've grown, we're getting a reputation of having good music. So we get a lot of people from Denver, a lot of people from Boulder. That the more and more that we talk to people, they're from all over.
They're chasing the bands and coming up to see who's playing one week to the next.
Yep. And yeah, just we get Golden locals, but yeah, there's a bunch of neighborhoods around here too. So yeah, it's pretty.
Yeah, you've
pretty
got
all
pretty
over the
good
place.
built-in clientele. I was laughing with Sam. I drive past you guys at least twice a month. My in-laws live right up the street.
All
And
right.
every goddamn time I try to get my wife to pull over or leave her folks early for a quick beer on the way home, I get shot down. So for me, this is perfect because I'm finally here,
Right.
and nobody related to me is here to ruin it for me. So
No.
just Sam, and he ruins.
I ruin everything.
He ruins everything. So
I do,
yeah,
I do.
yeah. Now, do you and Kaylee live in the Golden area? I mean, is that part of? Obviously, you went to school at Mines, but is that part of the mythos of being here, or did you guys want to be close to the community, or?
Yeah. Definitely.
We got an alarm coming off. Look at this. I love it.
I heard that crash.
I thought it was on my computer.
No, and
Right.
then Dave Johnson went running, and then he left his phone behind. That's probably
Right.
an alert.
You got to turn something off or on. But yeah, definitely Kaylee and I didn't want to leave Golden.
Uh-huh.
I've basically been in Golden since 91, since
Okay.
I started my undergrad. And so, yeah, we live nearby. And yeah, that was always the focus. And yeah.
I love that. Yeah,
Stay
you
here.
said that you wanted to stay here. That's really cool. Where are you from? Where are you from originally?
I grew up in Delta, Colorado.
Oh, okay, so
So
you're-
Western Slope.
Coloradan.
We
Yeah.
won't hold it
Right.
against you.
I don't even. I think I know where that is. I
It's
think
near
I've been
Grand
there
Junction-ish.
once. Yeah. I just.
About 40 miles south of Grand Junction.
Okay.
Like, that's
Yep.
like
Down
the
that way.
closest thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, fair enough. And then you came out the mines, and you studied the science, and now you're making beer. So I guess what role does the wife play in all this? The partner in crime. What's
The
her
boss?
what's her
Right,
day-to-day
the
look
boss. She
Something
basically.
happened there, by the way.
Yeah. Did you?
No, you're good, buddy. Pick up.
By the way,
go ahead.
as I think about it now, that thing
Sorry.
that thing went off. That was not
was
an
it
alarm.
420?
It was 420. That's
420,
exactly.
yeah.
That's exactly.
That
Sorry,
joke.
guys. Yeah, I had to walk away for a second.
All work stops up here at 420.
Yes, man, we are close to it. We
quitting
are in the
time.
foothills.
We're gonna have to change the topic here
Yes,
pretty
my
quick.
gosh.
No, so yeah,
So,
tell us what
right.
Kaylee does.
Back
She's
to Kaylee, yeah. So she actually also got her PhD from mines in
so smart guy.
mineral and energy economics. So she's, but she does a lot of the marketing and branding, and she does all of the marketing and branding and that sort of thing, and and runs sort of that side of talking to people. They don't let me talk to people much. I'm supposed to stay in the back.
Oh well,
and
we
that
broke
sort of
that
thing.
rule
Yeah.
today.
Yeah,
Sorry.
we did.
Well, no one can see me, so it's okay.
Let's pull up a chair. Who's this guy? Who's this?
I'm the designated keg unloader.
Aha. Okay. I'm
was that-
Sam.
Yeah.
Nice to meet
Was
you.
that you that dropped the keg back there?
It was pretty chaotic in
You
the
may have
back
to
a
share
minute
that
ago.
one,
Yeah.
Josh, just
Okay.
because we don't have enough of these darn
You can just
splitters.
pass it all over the place.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah,
for
just
sure.
don't lick it. It's,
So, while you're on a roll, the guy who doesn't talk is talking. It's been a coon's age since we sat down and talked to a brewery that wanted to think about making more beer and selling more beer kind of not over the counter. And so, as a brewery owner who's now thinking about kind of, I don't want to say expanding, right, but definitely kind of increasing your footprint, what's going through your head as an owner in terms of worries, in terms of the risks that you want to take and all of that, also because you have you're a smart guy and got a business background.
So we're in a way lucky enough here that it's been extremely busy in the tap room. Initially, when we started, we thought we would have to ramp up the outside sales much quicker.
Okay.
We didn't have to, so we didn't.
Yeah.
And so it's just we're ramping up slowly on purpose. In fact, I usually hold the sales guys back as we get into summer. Like, okay, we're doing enough.
take a couple
and we
days off.
Yeah. What's that?
I said you tell them to take a couple days off and
No, I tell them to sell more beer to the people we have.
Okay.
We don't need more accounts.
don't expand accounts. Gotcha.
Yep. And that's typically how we work the summers is keep the accounts because it gets busier here in-house. And then work on more accounts and then in the winter and then go from there.
Sure.
We purposely started with just 6 liquor stores for our cans. Just to slowly get it out there, and then we'll expand that as we go. We're doing it all with purpose, and we're again
Who's doing
lucky
your
enough that we can do that.
Who's doing your distributing? Are you doing all on your own? Are you the ones delivering the cans, or do you have a distributor?
Yeah,
No,
Michael-
we're all self-distributed.
Okay.
So
Michael, who's
yeah,
just here.
Mike he's the one.
Yeah.
doing it, okay.
Mike and another guy.
That
John.
van that Mike.
I've
lived in
seen the
is-
van.
It's been converted.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
now the
Wrapped with our
delivery
logo
van.
now,
Yeah, it's
Exactly.
the only
But
thing
yeah,
holding it together,
and-
right?
Exactly.
But that'll be the focus, and
Yeah.
maybe next spring we'll get another van, and then at some point we'll reevaluate where we're going on distribution. But in a way, we're still mostly in-house, and and that makes the margins. But we will expand more. But yeah, like I said, holding it back and doing it on how we want. Yep.
Does ramping up sales over the bar here in Golden create more demand during the off season? Do you think where you guys, you're not withholding beer like you said, but you're not expanding accounts, you're not opening up new avenues for distribution and tap handles across the state, but as more and more people come up here for music and Wanderfest and just mountain biking and hiking in the area, does that generate more and more buzz for the brand and give you a reason to be able to ramp up outside sales again come October, November, December?
Yeah, and I think that's actually working really well. We have a sort of a list of people asking for it, right? And so maybe the sales guys then have it easy and
Sure.
No,
Yeah, that's what you need,
they
right?
don't really, but
The same bar owner keeps coming every Thursday.
And so okay, yeah, well, and it definitely does, and so right, that's why I can feel confident of where we are business wise. Of we're sort of holding back.
How much is the business conversation that happens here, go home with you guys? Like, is there conversation over the dinner table about this kind of stuff, or does it basically does it stay here in the office?
Dude's got a 4-year-old and a 4-month-old.
I
There's
know.
no conversation at
I have
home.
never.
Yeah.
I
No,
can't
there
imagine.
is no
Yeah.
pillow talk.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Right,
Yeah,
no,
you don't see
that's-
each other at home. Yeah,
that's-
there's no.
yeah.
There's a lot of yelling.
Right, to my 4-year-old, there's a lot of we're having adult conversation here. And you're
Yeah.
like,
No,
but
no, you're not.
No, I mean, Kaylee and I have been business partners along with with partners for quite a while now, so we're used to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think it's sort of all the time, but it's not that bad. We're talking about beer and things, and actually, we get to talk about beer styles and what the marketing, because a lot of times she will actually drive what styles we make in the back, and in a way, I'm okay with that because, again, we're professional brewers who should be able to brew anything, and
Yeah, but if somebody's got their ear to the ground and they know what
Yeah.
not only what the market needs, but what is being demanded by the consumers, and also what tastes good, and obviously she's probably smarter than you with what sounds like 2 PhDs. I don't know, or
yeah, but that also is something we discuss every Friday in our meetings with a guy like Michael, who's tried every beer style there is, and the sales guys have a lot of input on that. Our Friday meetings are always great because we get them out of the way, all the stuff you have to talk about early, and then you just start having beers and talking about what's next, what do we want to do, and that sort of thing. So it's input from all sides on that.
sounds like we need to sit in on a sales meeting.
I know.
Friday meeting.
Friday meetings are the
Dude,
best.
it is. You know what? I checked the fucking weather before I left the house this morning. I got
Look at
the
that Jeep out
I got
there.
no windows in the
Jay's
Jeep today.
yeah.
This is like the 3rd time in a fucking month.
Hope you
that
brought
I've
a beach
driven
towel.
it based on the forecast,
Wow, look
and
at
it
that.
pours. So
We should just make an episode of watching your Jeep get soaked.
Jesus,
That's gonna be fun.
yeah.
Jesus.
Put it on a loop.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
I just dried it out from the last time. I swear to God.
You can tell that there's definitely a familial element to the brewery. Just the fact that you would even these guys are sitting down, right, and everybody's kind of coming in and out of the interview, and so even coming into this room and setting up, everybody there's a cohesive unit that I don't think we always see when we go into breweries and interview brewers and founders and owners, and so I'm assuming that has a lot to do with the success too that you guys have had. It's just that kind of camaraderie, or not.
Well, I think definitely for sure. That's always a focus, and that's also why I like to expand slowly. Is you have to have the people in place first and everything right first before you go to the next level. And these guys are both engineers too. So they're only allowed in the back, and
That's the faces for brewing.
But and the front of the house goes mostly to our taproom manager, who I've known for a long time in Golden, Mike Helms. He came from Woody's Pizza. You guys,
Nice.
he ran that forever, and so I mean, he was a great addition to. It's part of that. He's a great manager where he tells some of the staff up front that whatever they're doing bad and they're like high-fiving him, right? It's just like I don't know how to do that. I'm not that way.
He's got great social skills.
But
He's gonna be
they
like
just have to
local
put up with me in the
government
back.
at some point. He knows everyone. He's so well connected, and he like Josh just said, he just knows how to interact with people and make you feel positive and happy.
That's awesome.
He's a great guy.
Dave, grab that a little closer to your mouth
Oh,
there.
sorry, yeah.
Okay, so Dave, what is your
Yeah.
background? You are the brewer. You're back there, one of the brewers
so
making beer.
I'm brewer number 2. John's the head brewer.
Okay,
Like I said, I
okay.
started about a year ago. My background comes from chemical engineering, just like Josh, and I'm sure you'll find out like John. I grew up in Wisconsin. I've worked in a ton of different industries, from oil and gas to wastewater.
Okay.
And kind of a similar story, except I didn't burn out necessarily. I just got sick of it. Just got kind of overwhelmed and overloaded with the long hours of a startup that I was working in the previous job, and had been homebrewing for quite a long time, and made the move with my wife out to Colorado because she's actually originally from Boulder.
Okay.
And with that move, figured I'd try to start fresh with a job at a brewery, and reached out to Josh and Kaylee, and was lucky enough to land an interview and then talk to these two guys and got the job. So it's been kind of a dream run for me over the last year or so, I'd say.
What's your relationship with beer? How did it start? I mean, obviously.
Oh, man.
He's
New
from
Glarus?
Wisconsin,
Is it
dude.
New Glarus? or
New
what?
Glarus definitely
Yeah.
plays a role.
Okay.
I went to college at University of Wisconsin in Madison.
I'm a
kinda-
Hawkeye, so.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's my father.
Let's not start this.
Did you? Oh, holy
Yeah.
shit! I grew up.
I grew up in Iowa City, so now I have to be friends with you.
You gotta come hang out with us on Saturday at Fresh
Oh yeah,
Craft.
we're going to Fresh Craft. We're interviewing Dry Dock said Kevin Delange because he went to Iowa State.
Oh, he's
So-
another Iowa guy?
But
Well,
it's Iowa State,
yeah,
right?
we're doing
Not
a
that this
Fresh
means
Craft, which is
anything
an
to
Iowa
me
bar.
because
So-
Cool, cool. I'll have to check that out sometime.
He's supposed to bring a keg in, so we'll see how it goes.
For us?
Yeah. Well, yeah, he's going to bring a keg in to tap just for the interview.
Oh, I thought for us.
Well, it's gonna. I mean, he's bringing in. We're
You're not
taking it
drinking this
home.
month,
I know.
so-
Yeah, you got to take it home. We've taken kegs home before. So, anyhow, back to Dave. Okay,
Yeah.
so we got a Wisconsinite, we got a Badger, we got 2 Hawkeyes maybe. So yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
Finish your story.
And you got a burro, right? No, a minor. A minor.
minor, a
I
minor.
forget what
That's
that
right.
means.
Well, he
Burro.
is-
It's in a donkey. Yeah, it was a donkey.
Ore digger. That's what it is.
Ore digger. There
We've
we
got a
go.
flag upstairs if you guys want to see it.
I don't think we need to see the flag, but
But yeah, so in college, I kind of was the guy who carried a 6-pack of craft beer with me to a lot of the parties, after sophomore, junior year of college, and was the one who was always bringing interesting beers as opposed to drinking off the the cheap keg at the party or
Lacrosse
whatever.
light. No, yeah.
Yeah, and there was actually
Yes, I know.
good example. But yeah, there was one brewery that had been downtown, and the brewmaster from that brewery decided to go off and do his own thing and move to a larger facility and started Ale Asylum. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it, but that was kind of the brewery that kicked it off for me. And just watching them grow and the interesting beers, they kind of blew up during the West Coast IPA phase when all the super hoppy IPAs were coming out, and they really did a great job with it. And I think I just became a hophead over their beer.
Yeah.
Dave
ran
just
from there.
answered your question without you even asking.
What was
it.
the beer? What
Yeah,
was your beer?
the beer that got you started?
We're gonna make shirts. We're gonna have shirts. What was your first craft beer?
Yeah.
First
We always-
craft.
yeah, we
But
always
dude,
ask.
the fact that these guys now are predicting the question means we're obsolete.
We are. We don't even need a podcast anymore.
That's
the only
right.
reason
And that's the
is
sign of a good interviewer is when they answer the question
You're
you
right,
even
just
ask
lead
it.
them- lead
Yeah.
them to it.
You were a journalism major, right?
Absolutely not. I wish.
So okay, I got you. So you kind of fell in love with beer that way, and then you kind of
Yeah.
made your way out here. And
And then
gave
after
up.
that, I got into other industries and did the home brewing thing as a side project all the time for about 5-6 years, moving from Chicago back to Wisconsin.
Okay.
And then realized that was really a passion for me and something I wanted to pursue.
Awesome, very cool. John Boy, your turn. You are the head brewer or lead brewer, as the website says. What's the difference between a lead brewer and a head brewer?
That's a good question. You'd have to ask a lot more head brewers than me.
An L or an H.
Yeah, I think so. That's the spelling, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm guessing.
I can answer that question. You can't be a head brewer until you can grow a beard.
Oh, just give me 3 or 4 months.
He's got to be one of the biggest brewers I've ever seen.
He is. He's a big human
Fucking
being.
Huge.
This guy.
It
Wow.
got dark when he came through the doorway earlier.
It did. Yeah. What is what's your story, John?
So I said I'm from Iowa City. I'm not a Hawkeye, though. I just grew up there. And I went to Mines as well, like Josh did.
But you're a Hawkeye because you grew up. It's in the goddamn
Exactly.
water,
It's
John.
part of your life.
Yeah.
You
It's in the
can't
corn,
avoid
not the
it.
water.
Nothing else to
Yeah.
do.
There's
Got
a lot of
nothing to do
good
with
corn
water.
and beans.
Exactly.
And maybe a similar story to Dave over there. I don't remember who this quote's from, but someone said, "Life's too short to drink cheap beer."
Okay. I like that.
Craft beer is not that expensive. Like, yeah, it's more than your average light beer, but it's not too pricey. And one of my roommates in college got me into homebrewing, and his dad actually had Charlie Papazian's book, The Love and Joy of Homebrewing, or whatever that's called. One of the original ones, because he was homebrewing back in like the 80s when it had just been legalized. So this book is old. The pages are falling apart. It's covered in God knows what hops and wort and beer.
And
but
whatever else.
It was cool. It was one of the first copies of that book, and that's like every brewer's kind of Bible. And I happened to meet Josh at the right time and place when I was up here for an alumni event, and got a good interview, and now I'm here.
That's crazy.
You were here physically at New Terrain. I mean, were you guys hosting the alumni event, or?
Yeah, it was the 50th anniversary of the Mines rugby team, which Josh and I both played on, not together because he's like
rugby
85.
At CSU. That's amazing.
Ooh, there we go. You guys probably played each other.
No, maybe. I don't know. I was still 10 when he was starting high school.
Josh
college.
does not look that
No,
old.
he doesn't look that old. I'm just saying.
It's deceiving, right?
He wears that hat for a reason.
Yeah.
Exactly.
He looks younger than I do. Don't get me wrong, but he's dated himself multiple times by telling us when he started his undergrad.
You probably drink more beer than a guy who owns a brewery.
I probably do. I probably do. Which is, I learned how to drink beer playing rugby. So
that's what that sport's about. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. I don't know shit about the game. I mean, I'd never played it at all. I played for 2 years at CSU, and all I remember is getting knocked out 3 different times and getting a beer handed to me to recover. So John's looking at me like,
that sounds par for the course.
That's smart. So, it sounds like all of y'all really, you get into the area, you immerse yourself in the craft beer scene, and then you just kind of fall in love with it. Is that how it works? Same as us, right? In a lot of ways.
Yeah, we never left.
No, you just kind of, it's a big ecosystem, but it's also not, if that makes sense. The personalities are the same, the kind of people you deal with are the same, and there's definitely an authenticity, I think, that you get in the industry that you don't get in a lot of other places, and so it makes sense that you guys would cling together, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think our generation especially was lucky because the craft beer scene really started to blow up, I think, right when I hit college, so it was sort of a no-brainer to get into it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Socially acceptable, whereas 10 or 15 years prior, it was like you were really a renegade at that point.
Well, and like Josh said, it was like a block of hops and some extract,
some water
for home brewing. There wasn't much art to it at that point, and now the resources that home brewers have just make it, sky's the limit.
Right. We have to pander to our beer nerds, so I'm glad you two are here. We are not beer nerds. We drink beer, a lot of it. But I don't think, we're not the guys on Instagram that are talking about, the certain kind of hops and beers. But what are you seeing in terms of styles, trends that you like, that you don't like? Are you worried about anything? Do you think it's all cyclical? You're smart people, so I'm going to make you answer this question.
What's Kaylee telling you guys is next? I guess that's the real question.
Black IPAs, right? Black IPAs.
Oh.
We're going to make it come.
You heard it here first, folks.
That's a flash.
Are you guys going to edit that? What do you need?
Yeah, black IPAs.
Can't cut that one out. Cut that one out.
I was in Australia in June, and they were making them down there, and I knew, because they're that far behind, right? So it was like, they're huge in Australia, black IPAs now. Yep.
Huh.
So
yeah.
Hazy's will be there in 5 years.
Right.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Well, I guess to answer your question is I have no idea.
Yeah.
Of course, that's the like everyone else, we definitely see the need for more and different beers.
Mm-hmm.
We probably did about 50 different recipes this year.
Okay.
That's with the North Star and Terra Firma being a different recipe every month. Then we put in seasonals and all of that sort of thing. Definitely, I don't think like hazy styles are going away or anything because the science behind it and the uniqueness is pretty interesting about all the how the hop oils are then retained and within that haze that makes them unique in different flavors. And I think part of that, even you'll see that here, is we taste and look at clarity of the beers, even if it's an amber or something else. And it may not be the clearest that we're hitting because the flavor is slightly different in different things. And so I think that hazy being acceptable is actually expanding even different styles than IPAs. There are different flavors that you get, and in like I say, an amber that's not perfectly clear that versus the clarity, and so we're actually looking at some of that. So that's kind of interesting. I don't know if that's like a new or a different style, but it's a something that we can do now that's more acceptable than it would have been even like 3 or 4 years ago to have, a sort of cloudy amber.
Right.
Yeah.
Jesus, I'm excited now about a cloudy
I know you
amber.
would dig that.
I love amber. No, I'm serious. That's like nobody's ever explained it to us that way. That maybe the next thing is not a hazy IPA, but a hazy.
Something else.
Yeah.
Right.
Seems so easy.
Like an American red is a really hoppy like thing, and so you can play with that level of cloudiness where you're either using finings or filters to. But we've tasted those with different fining levels, and we prefer something that's a little cloudier just from the flavor profiles. So that's something new and interesting, right?
So I heard hard
that works
seltzer.
fine.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I got from that. Yeah, there's are you making a hard seltzer?
No, don't even answer that question. We've done that enough. No.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
There's,
all right.
there is one in the tank.
I've told
but honestly, I walk around my neighborhood and
everybody's drinking them.
Everyone's drinking them in the streets, so that's
my softball league. Everybody's drinking it. It's ridiculous.
And I think it's okay to have on. We'll just have it on. We'll have our 18 other beers and
you guys
one
have
on.
such a big menu.
I think, right. I mean,
they're easy to make too, right?
Right.
They're running out of White Claw. You guys might as well. I mean, you guys timed it perfectly.
It's pretty easy to make. Let's put it that way.
I mean, there's no. I mean, it's fun to make fun of people who are down in a bunch of Trulies, but I mean, I get it. I guess, right?
It's a very short brew day when you're doing a seltzer. That's for sure.
You guys bring a book?
Move over and
like, gosh, like Bartles and James. I miss a good wine cooler.
Dude, what if we brought back those
Right.
commercials?
Yeah.
That would be great.
Oh my God, it's great. It's great.
Within that, I don't think we're like chasing trends, but there are tons of people that want it, so why not have it on?
Yeah. You guys are a big enough brewery. Got enough room out here to serve a bazillion people. From the looks of it, why would you lose even 1% of your customers because some lady didn't get a White Claw when she showed up or whatever, right? I mean, you got kombucha for Christ's sake.
Yes, you did.
It's
It's delicious.
alcoholic
by the way.
kombucha, basically.
Film's exact philosophy.
Perfect.
Yeah, what was his comment? There's ladies bringing in Nalgene bottles with wine, sneaking them in, so we might as well have something they'll drink here on tap, right?
That makes total
Yeah.
sense.
Yep.
So what are you doing for GABF? What are you putting up there for some awards? And also, I mean, are you doing Meet the Brewer? You got y'all. What's? I'm assuming that week is a pain in the ass.
Anything happening
You own a
here
brewery?
that we should know about?
Yeah.
That week on Wednesday, we're having a joint party here with Vale Brewing,
Okay.
and we're doing a collab saison.
That's Thursday.
He said Wednesday.
The Wednesday, right before.
My wife says I don't listen.
So we're doing that because we get along. I don't know, randomly. I know all the Vale Brewing guys, and so they just asked, and they sort of wanted a place closer that they could, have people be able to come to. So it's like, yeah, let's throw a party. That'll be fun. Well, let's see if I can remember the beers we.
You got 5 of them. I'll start the timer.
Yeah, it's like a.
Let's see. We went Sun Trip because it won before. Let's see. We're doing our pumpkin beer. It's our savory pumpkin beer. Punky masala. That's what it's called.
It's got
that's
garam
2.
masala in it, so it's not as American. It's a little more Indian cuisine on the pumpkin.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your wife would drink that, Sam.
Right.
We
The,
love it.
the,
I love
the,
it.
the,
is
i- the
delicious.
idea for that was more because you don't want beer that tastes like pumpkin pie. You want beer that's more pumpkin soup.
Yeah.
So like savory pumpkin,
I
not
like that.
pumpkin pie. But anyway, that's let's see what else. We have a Brett barrel aged sour that we put in. That's tributary.
Got a least favorite beer in the world, chocolate coconut brown, because I have to roast all the coconut under the sun, and it's a huge pain in the ass.
Oh.
But it's delicious.
How do you do that? Blowtorch?
That would be cool, like a creme brulee in an oven. It's not very exciting.
Oh, that's not,
Y-
like,
We go to the
We
local,
go to the local
cupcake
cupcake.
shop, Goldmine Cupcakes.
Shout out to Goldmine,
Yeah, they give us a huge help with that. You know, they got a gazillion ovens in there because
oh, you guys
they
don't
bake
keep a lot of
cupcakes all
ovens
day.
up at a brewery.
Yeah.
No, I was going to say,
usually.
okay.
Didn't even occur to me. I'm like, oh, that sounds like a pain in the ass, but
So you just trade beer for the oven?
That's pretty much what goes down. I say,
and
here's a
God,
bunch of beer.
cupcakes.
Yeah, they get cupcakes.
Hopefully.
They make some awesome cupcakes. Yeah.
What are you most proud of that you put into GABF? Like, what is the thing that if it doesn't win, you're going to be really sad or it doesn't get noticed?
I'd be bummed out about that sour. We've finally kind of gotten our barrel sour program off the ground, and those are some amazing beers in my opinion. So I hope they do well. Obviously, barrel aged beers take like the most time compared to anything else.
Right. Do you
How
get
long you
excited? Okay, go ahead.
No, you.
I was going to say, I mean, we're getting close to GABF now. Do you get excited about GBF, or is it a pain being this close to it?
Yes.
Okay.
It's I personally get really excited when we're submitting our beers because we submitted them a week or two ago, so you submit them about a month out. That's always exciting because that's kind of you've been brewing these beers for a few weeks prior,
Yeah.
and then you submit them, and then you have a month to wait around and see what happens, and then your anticipation kind of grows again right to the week before GABF to hear the results.
But then that week sucks? Or no, you like it?
The week's
Yeah.
busy
Okay.
because as a local brewery, we have to go there and stay here and brew beer for like
Yeah.
the craft brewers conference. Josh will
yeah.
say this: if it's out of town, it's awesome because you just take the whole week off and leave. But if
Yeah.
it's in Denver, which it is every other year, you're a lot busier because everyone wants to come to your brewery. People got to go drink beer. You got to still go to the conference and brew beer.
Yeah.
It gets a little busy.
Yeah, people just look tired at CBC. Like the brewers in town that we were going and drinking
Dude,
beer
I was
with.
tired.
Like,
I don't even run a brewery.
Oh,
My liver fucking hurt that week.
That was bad. That was
Yeah, the
bad.
conferences start at 8 a.m. and they're like, yeah, here you go. You want to learn about Brett and how it barrel ages things? Also have this beer.
Oh,
Yeah.
exactly.
All day
Drinking
long.
right there. Well, I think we got the promo for for the events happening next weekend. We'll
Yeah,
make sure to,
Wanderfest.
make sure to have everybody come find you at GABF if they can and drink your stuff. So to you three and to Michael, who's no longer here, thank you so much for doing this interview. You want to do a cheers, Jay?
Yeah, thanks for getting
Okay,
Michael
we'll
out
do
of the
a
van, by
cheers.
the
Yeah,
way.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You know?
Here's to Sober September for Sam. Thanks, guys, for having us out
Yeah,
here.
exactly. New
Sam.
Thank
Terrain.
you, guys.
What's the address, real quick? The address.
16401 Table Mountain Parkway, Golden.
This place is awesome. You got to come find it. I mean, the beer's great, the views are great, and I mean, the space is awesome.
And the Gigantic Kong is right down the road.
The gigantic Kong. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you.